welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to do your own homemade edible lace. Okay, so I have my ingredients here with me. This is 1 tablespoon of CMC, or you can use Tylose powder. This is 1 tablespoon of icing sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornflour, 1 teaspoon meringue powder. Then we're also going to use, this is glycerine, we're going to use 1 teaspoon. And then this glucose syrup, we're going to use half a teaspoon. We also need boiling water. It needs to be boiling. This is 70 ml. For the spoons, I like using this normal tablespoons, and all the spoons, the measurements, the spoons were leveled. Yeah, so don't put a heap. So, we also have our lace mat and an offset spatula for applying. So you always start with this is CMC. I'm going to pour the hot water in, all the 70 ml. Then we'll mix it. It usually doesn't dissolve, but what I do, I try and break up the lumps as much as possible. Your water will become gel-like once you add the CMC. Then after the CMC, I like adding the half a teaspoon glucose syrup, just because this mixture is still hot, so it will be easier for us to mix it in, unlike when you add it later when it has cooled off a bit, so it becomes a problem trying to get it to mix in there. Okay, so once you're done, you should have a paste that's spreadable. It shouldn't be too runny, neither should it be too thick. So if it's too runny, you can add a bit of cornflour to thicken it. Let's say like half a teaspoon or quarter teaspoon at a time. If it's too thick, you can add water bit by bit as you mix until it gets to the consistency that you are looking for. But in general, it should be a spreadable consistency. Okay, so once you get at this point, you can color it whatever color you want, but for purposes of this video, we're going to use it white as is. So I have my mat here, and just to make sure that it doesn't stick on the mat, I'm going to dust it a little with cornflour. Do very minimal dusting, because if you do too much, then your lace is going to come out ashy, especially if it's a colored lace. Then you can shake off the excess, and you're ready to apply. Okay, so I prefer using the offset spatula. I find it more easier to use when applying. So when you're applying, you just scoop and press so that it gets to all the bits of the pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to check if there are any bits of the pattern which the lace mixture didn't get into. And everything looks good. So I'm going to dry this in the oven. You can air dry it, but it takes quite a while, depending also on the weather where you are. And right now it's really cold, so it might take longer than the 7 hours that it's supposed to take when air drying. The other alternative is drying it in the oven at about 50 degrees to 60, depending on how hot or how cool your oven is, and that's going to take about 15 minutes. Yeah, so we're going to air dry this in we're going to dry this in the oven, then we'll come back and do a second coat to just make it stronger, yeah, so that we're able to peel it off without it breaking. Okay, the first coat is dry, and you will know it's dry when the lace is not looking shiny anymore. It will have a matte look. Yeah, so that's how you'll know it's dry. If it's still shiny on some bits, it means those parts are not fully dry. So we'll do a second coat, then we'll put it back in the oven, then we'll come and peel it off. Okay, the second coat is dry, so we want to peel, and peeling is very easy. You pull back one corner of the mat, and first you test if the lace is too dry or not. So if you touch this part and you feel like it's brittle, it means the lace is too dry. So if you try and peel off at this point, it will just keep breaking. Yeah, so when that happens, like mine feels a bit brittle, I left it in the oven a bit too long. You take a damp cloth, damp, not wet, fold it to the shape of your mat and place it over your mat. We're going to leave it there for about a minute, then we'll come back and check if the lace has softened. Yeah. Feel again if your lace is softer, and it feels soft now, so you can just simply peel it off gently. Depending on your pattern, there are some mats that are easier to peel than others. Very thin, flexible. So that is how you make these, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, try the lace recipe, and let me know in the comments down below how you find it. Until next time, thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.